Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we'll be talking about the film Barbie. Fun fact, Ruth Handler was the founder of Barbie and president of Mattel, and she had to resign after issues with the Securities and Exchange Commission, proving that the line in the movie was true about her getting in trouble with the IRS, and she sadly passed away in 2002. This film came out in 2023 and stars Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling, and America Ferrera, and was directed by Greta Gerwig. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. Barbie follows stereotypical Barbie who starts having weird things happen to her and must figure out why they are happening. This leads her out of Barbie land and into the real world where she meets Gloria and her daughter Sasha, who try to help Barbie find herself and stop being the patriarchy from trying to take over in Barbie land. Barbie is a comedy that also deals with self discovery. It has similar vibes to Lady Bird, Booksmart, or Enchanted. The Barbie movie seemed like an interesting concept, and let's be honest, I was willing to watch it anyways. But with all of the marketing that went into this movie, it really had my attention. Not only were there discussions online about Barbenheimer, which surrounds Barbie and Oppenheimer releasing on the same day, but the Barbie marketing team dipped their toes into nearly every niche, from architectural digest videos to Cold Stone partnerships. Another Mattel brand, Uno, had some Barbie Uno cards, and even Burger King got in, just to name a few. I felt like this is one of the best and uniquely marketed movies that I've ever seen, and really had me wanting to see the movie even more. Greta is 3 for 3 with directing, and with this film, she further solidified how great of a director she is. Barbie is an iconic toy, and while it's loved by many, Greta also decided to throw in some mentions of how Barbie fed into the unrealistic beauty standards for women and is a product of consumerism. I feel like she showed Barbie Land as the society that unfortunately is unrealistic, and the shock Barbie feels when she finds out what the real world has to offer or not to offer for women. She made a beautiful film that celebrates uniqueness and encourages people, especially women, to practice self love and accept themselves, which was lovely to see through the lens of an iconic doll. Margot Robbie is freaking amazing as stereotypical Barbie. Margot did such a great job with the emotional beats in this movie, showing how this Barbie was trying to figure out where she belongs. I love seeing the world through her eyes and how she was learning that in Barbie land, the Barbies are the ones who rule and do all of the important jobs, and in the real world, she finds out that this isn't necessarily true. She questions if she belongs, and I love how she comes to learn that everyone, even Barbies, have their thing that makes them special, whether you see it or not. I also really enjoyed her meeting Ruth in the end and getting a nice little montage of, different moments of women basically living their lives and seeing, if being in the real world is something that she wants. And I'm really happy that that little ending scene with all those different images and videos made it into the movie as well. Ryan Gosling was really funny as the main Ken in this movie. He nailed the comedy bits in this movie and played the bimbo role really well. It was interesting to see him become kind of like the villain by bringing patriarchy to Barbie Land and trying to make it a land for the Kens, even if he thought it only had to do with horses. As Barbie is trying to figure out herself, I was happy that in the end she tells Ken that he needs to find himself and that he is not an extension of Barbie. Ryan was perfect for this role and brought so much life to this character. America Ferrera's Gloria was like the heart of this film. She is the owner of the stereotypical Barbie who is having these weird thoughts that are applying to Barbie and Barbie Land. Through her, we see the struggles that women face in the real world and how much harder they work just to make it in society. She ends up helping the Barbies in a big way, and I love that she could play such a big part for Barbie Land, considering Barbie played such a big part in her life. Will Ferrell was hilarious in every scene as the CEO of Mattel. It's crazy that the studio and Mattel allowed them to portray the CEO as not the most likable person, but they made the character funny. Alan seemed like the most relatable character to me. He was just there vibing out, and I loved him just being there and not really being in any drama, but just observing and living his life. Michael Cera was fantastically cast in this role and really caught me off guard to learn later on in the film that Alan is actually really good at fighting as well when he takes on multiple Kens trying to attack Gloria on her way out of Barbie Land. All the other Barbies and Kens were great to see on screen. They all brought something different with their versions, even if they weren't on screen for that long. The soundtrack for this movie was amazing. There were some songs I heard before the movie came out, and I was wondering how they would add them. And then I watched the movie, and it just made so much sense. The Dua Lipa song is played during a dance scene in the film, and that was one of my favorite scenes in the movie. And the music played a big part in that scene and really had me bobbing my head in the movie theater. There is one song that I knew I needed in this movie, which was Barbie Girl by Aqua, and I was so happy that they added that song, but also made a new song, Barbie World, that is an amazing, and it's by Ice Spice and Nicki Minaj, and it samples Barbie Girl. One song I thought would have fit in nicely to this movie, especially that talks around like misogyny and the patriarchy, was The Man by Taylor Swift. But even if that song is not in the film, I still think they did a great job with what they had in terms of the soundtrack. I'm gonna be honest, sometimes I don't really pay attention to the credits in movies, but for this movie, I thought that the credits were cool to look back on some of these iconic Barbies and even show the inspiration for many of the Barbies that are in the film. It was cool not only to see them come to life in the movie, but to see what the real life inspirations for those characters were. My favorite part of this film was the monologue that Gloria said that basically talks about the patriarchy in the real world and the misogyny that women have to deal with every single day. Everything she said was spot on, and if you think it's not, you clearly aren't paying attention to what women deal with on a day to day basis, or you do pay attention but choose to ignore it. I love how her and this speech was used to help the Barbies remember who they were and remember that they aren't just some arm candy for some kin, but a Barbie who has accomplished so much and isn't just beauty, but also is brains. The Barbie movie is a funny but heartfelt movie showing Barbie finding her purpose while also tackling the patriarchy. The cast, the music, the direction was all great, and I definitely think that the Barbie movie is one of the film highlights of 2023. Thank you for watching my video. I would love to hear your thoughts down below in the comments. If you haven't subscribed, please do so you can keep up to date with more of my videos. But besides that, everyone stay safe, have fun, and goodbye.